gonna present about the tourism in Malaysia. First, I'm gonna explain about the introduction. Malaysia's third largest source of the foreign income is tourism. Without relying on export, it was not easy for the Malaysian government to make their economy independent. And this is the precise reason why the government took measures to improve Malaysia's tourism industry. As the result, Malaysia is now ranked in 11 in the world for tourism revenue and second in the Southeast Asia as a whole. The Malaysian Healthcare Travel Council, a government agency, promote medical tourism in the region. In addition, many beautiful beach and island, different nature reserve and national park also draw millions of tourists to Malaysia every year. Today, this small country generate additional income through the tourism to contribute to the growth of its economy with the global campaign called Malaysian Truly Asia. Type of tourism. First is culture tourism. Malaysia boasts an impressive number of culture sites, include 5 UNESCO World Heritage Sites that are worth visiting. Most of Malaysian famous culture sites are located on the Malaysian Peninsula, ranging from the ancient Georgetown building in Penang and the Chinese, Indian, Portuguese and Dutch and British legacy in Malacca, to the tea plantation of the Cameron Highland and the charming colonial architecture hidden under the skyscraping towers of Kuala Lumpur. Cultural stops on the east side of Malaysia include the vibrant Kuching of Sarawak, the Cat City and the River Rejang, through which you can sail to get the glimpse of Borneo Longhouse. Book a visit to one of the 8 vibrant festivals to witness Malaysia culture come alive, such as the Ramadan ending Hari Raya Puasa, San Pedro Fishing Festival in the midsummer of the Chinese Mooncake Festival in Autumn. Of course, it is must a taste of delicious variety of spicy local noodle, rice and baba nyonya dishes if you want visit it centered around eating Malaysia culture nuggets. Next is medical tourism. For the medical tourism, seeking healthy and affordable medical care, Malaysia has become a prime destination. English-speaking, professionally qualified doctor and the modern facilities working under the internationally recognized quality standard. Strictly regulated by the country Ministry of Health can be used by medical tourists in Malaysia, and all this for the fraction of the cost of the Western countries like the United States and the United Kingdom for the same facilities. The patient and the travel companion are given lodging by the several hospitals and healthcare centres. As for the post-surgery, the sparkling beach of the Malaysia are not such a shabby place to recover. Malaysia medical tourism is ranked among the top 5 healthy tourism destinations. Malaysia is well on its way to establish itself as a centre for medical tourism and is the UK most visited destination for the medical tourism, drawing 80.5% of the UK medical tourism and attracting over 1 million patients from all over the world. The Association for Private Hospitals of Malaysia, working to grow medical tourism, is the high involved. Nevertheless, while Malaysia has a national accreditation healthcare system, many of hospitals in Malaysia are currently firmly on the road gaining international accreditation for the healthcare. JCI is accredited by Malaysian hospitals such as Gleneagles Hospital, Kuala Lumpur, the International Specialist Eye Centre, and the Penang Adventist Hospital. Website for medical tourism has been launched by Ministry of Health. Next is adventure tourism. Adventure tourism is a type of tourism that involves exploring the traveling to remote, exotic, and potentially hostile regions. Activities such as mountaineering, trekking, bungee jumping, mountain biking, rafting, and zip lining and rock climbing can include this. Disaster tourism and ghetto tourism have several occur way to adventure travel. Such as social tourism and jungle tourism are the growing way of adventure travel. Leaving the beach reserve behind, the wide jungle of the Malaysia, volcanic peak, and the fabulous national park make this country a place for adventure to get blood pumping from everyone. Hiking opportunities, jungle trekking, rock climbing, and the wildlife inspection are plentiful. Try trekking elephant in the Taman Negara, chasing orang-utan on Borneo between Sabah and Sarawak, or looking in Romping National Park for Malaysia, very own mythical Bigfoot. The last is the rural tourism. Two wide kind of the travel interests are protected by rural tourism. One is the ability to live near or in the rural village that is relatively remote. Enjoy the peaceful life and experience through local culture. This take the form of the rural homestay, especially in the Orang Asli village, a tribal community mainly living on the forest of Central Peninsula Malaysia. Agri-tourism is rural tourism. Often the point of the living the working part-time on the farm, which focus on the agriculture. The edition from Malaysia focus on the tropical fruit and the tree plantation. Two wide type of travel preference are embraced by rural tourism. One is the chance to live near in a rural village that is relatively remote. Enjoy the peaceful life and the experience through local culture. The take of the form of rural homestay, especially in Orang Asli village, a tribal community mostly living in the forest Central Peninsula. Agriculture is rural tourism, often the point living the working part time.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Afzan. So I want to talk about role and strategy on tourism in Malaysia. Tourism has been rising very rapidly over the past few decades, and it has expected to be even faster in Asia and Pacific as a major continent that the promising to be able the world most significant tourism destination by 2020. So there is some rule and strategy on tourism in Malaysia. So firstly is by government. The government has important role, which is now they are concentrate more than ever on the tourism industry. Example, by improving the attraction of the tourists, such as developing island destination. So for their on the post development have given that Malaysian government as clearly view that tourism can play a major role in economic and social growth. So this ada their strategy and government. So the first strategy is the Ministry of Culture and Tourism, which is became the Ministry of Culture, Art and Tourism in 1990. Was created by government. So this provide an institutional basis of the tourism planning, according coordination and regulation. And also for the first time, tourist tourism was accounted for the content of recognized economic activity. So next, the new Ministry of Culture, Art and Tourism under the Tourism Industry Act of 1992 and the Malaysia Tourism Promote Board Act of 1992, which is that will include the formulation and enforcing policy, licensing and regulation aspect of the tourism industry. So after that, the OC become known as a Malaysian Tourism Promotion Board with marketing and promotion function. So the third strategy is in the 1986, the investment incentive was implemented, including tourism industry. There is included some stimulus to tourism investment, such as investment tax allowance for the leader status, industrial building allowance, and the tax exemption for larger group or abroad. The last strategy is in 1990, in order to stimulate its growth, including small and medium-sized enterprise, and federal government set up a 120 million special tourism fund. For next rule is stakeholder analysis. First, stakeholder are any person that there was communicate who has a interest in a program and maybe have positive and negative effect to the activity of business and or organization. So that means the are those highly compact by the action of company, right? For the key of stakeholder, there's two type stakeholder list above, which is very important within the organization, and generally overview of potential stakeholder is in the tourism is given a stakeholder review below. Okay, so the third role of the tourism, which is service provider. Service provider is a compressed group of devices stakeholder engaged in public or private market. That's include travel agency which act as a business that sell travel related product and service to customer. Supply, such as provided companies involved in transport and communication. For example, is airlines, car rental, cruise line, hotel, railway, or package holiday, and other. In addition, the travel agent is supposed to be best free when given advice to traveling to the tourists. So more benefit that we can get from agency traveling, which is daily as an impact and above mentioned service provider can help driver tourism industry forward to adopt the good environment in hospital practice, innovation, and encourage political representative to support the government of industry. Next role is non-government organization. So there is government that provide information and raise awareness, which is they also often advise the industry and on the use of the environment and support it. For example, through financial and institution. For the next rule, which is developer and investor, which is from the other private or public sector may initiate the development of industry. The decision of developer and investor is to introduce system for the safe users of environment, often tightly relate to sustainability into the program. So it's like they can stay conclude to good for tourism. For next, financial institution. The introduction of new infrastructure basically require the investment and operation costs be better. The next rule is institution. This maybe we can collect by university or the other research orienting institution or organization that can provide evidence and advice to program initiator, developer, and non-government organization. So the last role is non-international organization, which is international organization can ensure the external fund for tourism with appropriate environmental promotion and environment marketing activities. We encourage government to consider appreciate cheaper and more sustainable service than service local tourism issues and develop guidance and tool of facilitating good practice and then information disseminate and also activity advocate the idea of flexible technical norm and last the standard to allow the innovation and finally to facilitate safe use and efficient resource. So that's all. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Abdul Hamid. Now I want to present the policy and development strategies in the sector of tourism development in Malaysia. Firstly, the government bodies are in charge of the development of tourism in Malaysia. Located just north of the equator, there are more than 1,000 islands, not to mention the marine parks and rainforests, all filled with stunning birds and wildlife. Once again, people are talking about the golden beach, evergreen foliage, mountains, and unforgettable shopping malls in this country. Only in Malaysia can all of this be found. This country is generally a fascinating place to be. However, due to certain developments in Malaysia, the rise in personal income, leisure time, and development in foreign transport system, and finally the increased public knowledge in other parts of the world due to the improvement of communications, the industry started to expand rapidly in the 1980. The Malaysian government has agreed to promise to pursue a series of positive measures to promote the growth of the tourism sector, to ensure that tourism will play a major role in its economic and social development as a result. The government also established the Department of the Culture and Tourism, which became the Ministry of the Culture, Art and the Tourism in 1990. This provided an administrative framework for the planning. So that's all for government bodies. Next, the tourism strategy development. By the 8th Malaysia Plan 2001 until 2005, basic tourism development strategies and policies aim at achieving a sustainable growth and realize future income at national, state and local levels. Sustainable tourism strategy were used to protect a balance between environment, economy, social and cultural issues in all tourism activities, and planning and was structured as follows. There are eight strategies in order to develop tourism in Malaysia. Firstly, priority on sustainable tourism development. Second, focus on holistic approach for tourism development. Next, promote Malaysia as an attractive destination with events and carnivals. Improve human resources development. Next, to prepare and upgrade communication network. Can improve strategic agreement and international cooperation. Next, to improve tourist hospitality and safety, and lastly, to develop strategic alliance and international cooperation. A focus will be given to ecotourism development through agriculture and rural product development. So that's all for the tourism strategy development. Lastly, the growth of the international tourist inflow, tourist arrival and receipt to Malaysia from 2010 until 2019. Firstly, in 2019, Malaysia had approximately 26.1 million tourist arrival. With its Visit Malaysia 2020 campaign, Malaysia had hoped to increase tourist arrival. Nevertheless, the COVID-19 outbreak, which culminated in worldwide travel restriction, has paid for this initiative. However, the COVID-19 pandemic has badly affected the global tourism market. Countries worldwide have imposed restrictions on both inbound and outbound travel as part of their attempt to avoid the spread of the coronavirus. Malaysia was particularly hard hit because as early as the end of January, it introduced travel restrictions for the inbound tourists from China, its second largest tourism sector. Subsequently, global and domestic travel restrictions have further impacted its tourism industry, prompting Malaysia to cancel its 2020 tourism campaign this year. So, the total tourist arrival is 26.1 million. The total expenditure is 86.1 million. The average stay is 7.4 nights. Per capita expenditure is 3,300.4 ringgit. And lastly, per diem expenditure is 446.0 ringgit. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We will continue with promotion and marketing activities. The budget 2021 which table is expected to help revive the tourism, arts and culture sectors, where the government give 50 million to provide training and placement for 8,000 employees of airline companies in Malaysia. Furthermore, the Malaysia Healthcare Travel Council allocated 35 million to enhance the local medical tourism industry, while companies in the tourism sector have been given Human Resource Development Fund. He said that Malaysia Association Tour Agency President Datuk Muhammad Khalid Harun said, while the association member were happy to have the HRDV, it will depend on the national economic recovery plans, which amount 1 billion ringgit. The government incentive played important roles in boosting the domestic tourism sectors. We are lucky that the government has provided incentive and assistance through economic stimulus packages such as Prihatin SMEs and the National Economic Recovery Plan, Penjana. These aids include the tourism tax exemption until June next year, service tax exemption extension for hotels until June next year. Government also offering and launches attractive discount through Cuti-Cuti Malaysia Santai di Zoo campaign to attract domestic tourism and enhance the international travel. Moreover, since many countries impose restriction on international travel, emphasis is being to put on domestic tourism to help offset the downturn in the economy due to the absence of foreign contribution at the moment. Instead of letting this tourism industry getting worse, Government and Tourism Malaysia together with Malaysian Association of Hotel has embarked and introduced on a new strategic partnership to revive tourism supply chain economy and unveil for the first time, which is to create a recovery plan campaign, Jom Cuti-Cuti Malaysia. This campaign is to attract more Malaysian to get a room for in hotel for the price range within 100 ringgit to 300 ringgit for 3-star hotel. That's all for me. Thank you.